Okay, I think I'm going to have to wrap it up there because we're running out of time. There is one last question I wanted to touch on, which I'm just going to come to you, David. And you kind of leaning towards it at the end of that last response. Do you have any thoughts on how we can work to get some clarity back into the planning process? Clarity of time frame, clarity of cost, clarity of requirements. How do we get that clarity back into this process?
On the bigger cases, I would definitely promote the use of planning performance agreements where you agree between the authority and the agent the timescales, and we work to that and you work to that, and it has to work both ways. I realise that doesn't work for every single case, and perhaps a realistic timescale, like, I mean, somebody mentioned earlier, Justin, you mentioned that Timbridge had offered a 22-week, or Duncan said about a 22-week period for something. That seems odd to state that at the start, because our requirements are to do it within 8 weeks or a larger period if it's a major application. But I don't know whether or not that would help by saying, well, look, in the current workloads, that is more likely to be towards the 12 weeks rather than the 8 weeks that's expected on that type of application.
In fairness, I appreciate it's not quite how Tony wants to do this. That was by way of then of management of expectations. So partly it was a sort of disappointing that it takes that long, but there is at least the positive that they did indicate when it was. I go back to my client and say, it's 22 weeks. This is what your appeal timetable looks like. What do you want to do? But at least I'm not then spending the next 22 weeks with weekly or fortnightly, please can I have an update on this. You just set a mark in your diary. It's disappointing, but at least we know where it is. So there's a yin and a yang there, I think.